Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Kyla and I own way too many books. Okay, that's really not like the whole truth. I have a smaller collection than some, but my shelves are only so big and I want to save the space on them for books that I absolutely love. I just don't have the room to keep books that are just okay or ones that I know I'm not going to read. So in this video today, we are going to do an unhaul. I'm going to talk you through the books that I'm departing with, which I will be listing on Pango if they are in good condition. If not, then I will be donating them to the free little libraries around me or my actual library. This isn't like the biggest unhaul in the world, but I like to do this every couple of months or so just to keep myself in check and make sure I'm not keeping books around that I know either other people will love or just I'm done with. So anyways, let's just go ahead and get started. These are in no particular order whatsoever, but the first one that I'm going to be saying goodbye to is White Horse by Erica Worth. This was a book of the month pick for November, and this was just okay for me. This was a 3-star. It's a horror. It was just middle of the road for me. I don't feel like I'm ever going to reread it, nor is it something that I can see myself recommending a ton. It's good for beginner horrors, but I feel like I would recommend the ones that I actually really enjoy more. So that's why we're gonna say goodbye. This is in perfect condition, and I just feel like, you know what, if someone missed out or they're wanting it for just a little bit less expensive than book of the month, then I can let it go and let it move on to a new home. I am really sad though, because this cover is actually like really cool. I love the smoke detail on it. This was the hard part. This is like the absolute hard part of parting with books, is like some of them, it's just the cover for me. I like love the cover. There are a few that I'm actually keeping because of the cover, but this one's just not it. The next one is also one that I could keep because of the cover. I haven't read it yet. I got it a few months ago at the thrift store, and I just know that I'm probably not going to read it. Also, it was just more of like an aesthetic thing, and I just feel okay parting with it. Also, it's part of a series, and I have not been able to find the first book for like normal price anywhere. I don't know if it's like out of publish or what. Anyways, let me show you. It is my Moriarty book. I am a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I love Sherlock Holmes and that whole world. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, one, that cover is like absolutely stunning. I love that it has them like falling down the cliff in the middle. But this is the second in a series. The first one is House of Silk. And I don't know what it is, but that book has been really hard to find. But also the audiobooks are available. And I feel like if I know myself, especially with a Sherlock Holmes story, like the audiobook would be really cool to listen to. So I'm gonna go ahead and part with this. It was only like a few dollars when I got it. Also, it has deckled edging, and like, there's just something about that like skeeves me out. I like cannot deal with it. It like gets under my skin. I hate it. I hate it so much. So I just know that like my reading experience on this particular book would be tainted because of that. I know I'm a bit dramatic, but like it's real. I cannot stand deckled edges. Like, I think we just need to stop doing it. Anyways, that's why I'm parting with this one. Next is also a book that I haven't read. It has been sitting on my shelf for so long, and that is Writers and Lovers by Lily King. I love this cover. I think it's so cute. I just think it's adorable, but this is just not the kind of book that I gravitate towards anymore. There was a time when I first started getting into reading that I was really into literary fiction, historical fiction, or contemporary fiction. but I'm just not there anymore. I'm more of a fantasy girly, I'm more of a thriller, horror, cozy mystery, that kind of gal. And so I just feel like this is a little bit past my reading time. I've heard this is incredible, but if I want to read it in the future, I can just get it from the library. I don't feel like it needs to be taking up space on my shelf, staring at me and going, you haven't read me. This was a book of the month pick from March 2020. I don't think I got it March 2020. I think I got it a little bit after that, but still, like, it's been sitting there for a long, 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 long time, and it's just time to say goodbye, have it find a new home. There's some person out there who loves contemporary fiction, who would love to read this, so I hope it finds their way to them. And these next two are not bad books by any means. I'm not departing with them because I didn't like them. I enjoyed them both. I just know that I'm not going to reread them, and one of them, you'll see why. So the first one is Where the Crawdads Sing. This was on so many people's like recommended favorite lists. Everyone went through their phase of Where the Crawdads Sing. I was in that phase. As soon as it came out, I was like, wow, I need to read that. And I enjoyed it. I don't remember what I rated it. I want to say probably 4 stars. I enjoyed my time with it. I think it's a beautiful story. It's beautifully written. I just will not ever reread this, and again, I'm just not really a contemporary fiction, even though this does have a bit of like, I don't want to say thriller vibes, but like mystery vibes throughout it. I just know that that's just not something that I'm going to read anymore, and I know that there's someone out there who wants to own this in their collection, and so I hope this book finds their way to them. It's in perfect condition. I literally, like, it doesn't even feel like it's been read, but I just know it's time to pass it on. I don't need to have it sitting on my shelf anymore. I need to make space for the books that I love, and even though I enjoyed this one, it's time to move on. And then the second one is a book that I actually really enjoyed, but again, it has deckled edges, so if I ever feel the need to own this book again, I'm gonna just get the paperback because I cannot deal with it. This also, I got this off of a thrift website and it came in such horrible condition. It was from a public library and it just was not good. Like the cover's all dinged and stained and whatnot. So if I ever do decide that I want to own it, I will either repurchase it in better condition, but also just get the paperback because I cannot stand deckled edges. And anyways, it's Wild by Cheryl Strayed. Again, I really enjoyed this story. I read this at a non-opportune time though. I read this when I was laid up from breaking my foot. Not a great time to read an adventure story that makes you want to immediately be outside, and I was in crutches and in a boot, like not the best time. So I read this and I was like, well, that didn't make me feel any better. Regardless, I love the story. I think it's incredible. I love her real and raw emotion throughout this. I just think it's absolutely stunning. As I said, for the reasons, deckled edges and this not being in great condition, I just want to move this on. I'll probably put this in a free little library because I don't think it's in good condition to sell. But yeah, really enjoy the story, but it does not need to be on my shelf anymore. I didn't mean to do this like hardcovers and paperbacks, but here we are. My next stack is the paperbacks I'm going to be parting with. The first one is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Why is that so hard to say? Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I picked this up at a thrift store and I listened to it on audio. I just don't enjoy these mass market paperbacks, and I also don't like that it has the movie cover on it. I'm very particular about the kind of classics that I own, and I would prefer to have this in like it's an original format, not the movie cover, and also not in this like mass market paperback size. It's in good condition, there's nothing wrong with it, it's not the kind that I would like. And again, I mean, do I feel like I need to own all of these certain classics? Not necessarily. This was okay. I didn't enjoy it as much as And Then There Were None. I do have a copy of And Then There Were None, and I plan on keeping. Why did I just say it like that? I do have a copy of And Then There Were None, which I plan on keeping because I really enjoyed that book, but this one was just okay, so I feel comfortable parting with it. And then we have a book that I DNF'd, which I feel like is such a hot take because I know by looking at the reviews that a lot of people enjoyed the story. For me, I just was bored. It was too long. It was too drawn out. I wasn't really connecting with the storyline and the characters. And it was just too long for me to continue, and that is Long Bright River. Again, got this at a thrift store, so I don't feel like super guilty about all of the money lost. And this is in really good condition, so I know that it will find the right home, and someone is looking to read this and will really enjoy it. For me, like I said, it was just too drawn out. I wasn't connecting with the characters, and this is a hefty one. I want to say it's just about 500 pages. It just wasn't keeping my intrigue enough, and it's just sitting there on my shelf as a DNF, and I don't feel like it needs to be there, so we're saying goodbye. And next we have a book that I actually loved, and I planned on continuing with the series, but I just haven't. I read this one so long ago, and as much as I love the book, I don't see myself continuing with the series anytime soon, and if I do, I can just get them from the library. It's not one that I ever think that I'm going to reread afterward, and that is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. This is a whole series. I want to say there's like 6 in the series, and like I said, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun. It was a good mystery. The plot twist actually got me, which for young adult, like, I love when that happens. But again, I don't see myself rereading this, and I don't see myself continuing with the series anytime soon. I really enjoyed it. I want to say I gave it 4 or 5 stars, but it's sitting there as a singular, and if I'm going to like have a series, I want to have the series and not just have like the one single one sitting there. I actually think that my niece would probably enjoy this, so I might pass it on to her, but if not, then I will put it on Pango or sell it. It does have a few little nicks and scratches here, so it might sell, it might not. If not, it will go to a free little library. But again, really enjoyed it, but it's not something I feel like I need to keep on my shelf. And then the last 2 are very popular books. I feel like I might get canceled for parting with these. One of them I have read, one of them I have not. These were tough decisions, and I keep going back and forth between them. One of them, let's just talk about it. The first one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This I bought full price, and this hurts me to part with. It also hurts me that I thought I was going to love this book, and it ended up being just okay. Such a disappointment. And every single time I look at it, I just think about what could have been and how much I wanted to love it and how much I didn't. And I feel like it's just bringing like some bad juju in the air, and I'm just like not okay with it. Oh, I love the cover. I love the atmosphere in this book. If I were to ever recommend it, it would be because of the atmosphere. But I don't feel like I need to own it still to talk about it in that sense. I can always put a picture on the screen and talk about it. But for now, it's just sitting there, and I'm just like looking at it going, why? Why? I really wanted to love it. I really didn't. This was like 3 stars for me. I just was so bored, and like I kept waiting for something to happen, and nothing ever happened. And when the final thing starts occurring, it's like, okay, that's it. I just read all of this. It's a pretty long one for that. And again, it's just staring at me, reminding me that that was my experience, and I don't want to remember it like that. I want to remember the atmosphere and then move on, so you can move on. And then the last one I have not read. It's been sitting on my TBR shelf. I did get it at the thrift store, so I don't feel really bad about moving on from it. And I also know this is a very controversial book, and I would love to say that I'm going to read this, but I just don't know when I'm going to be emotionally prepared to do so, if ever, and I'm not sure that I want to put myself through it. So if I ever decide that I would like the emotional trauma of this book, I will get it from the library or I will borrow it from someone. But I just do not feel like it can be sitting on my TBR shelf just staring at me in the face anymore, reminding me, one, that I haven't read it, and I know it's so highly recommended, and let me just show it. A Little Life. I mean, I know this is going to be an experience if and when I read it. I just don't see myself being ready for that anytime soon. If ever. I don't know. I don't know if I want to subject myself to it. I saw it sitting at the thrift store and I was like, everyone's been talking about that book. I feel like I'm kind of having FOMO for not reading it. But at the same time, like, do I really want to have FOMO on something that's going to probably scar me that much? I don't think so. It could be years before I'm ready to read this. I mean, just look at that face on the cover. That says trauma right there, and I'm not sure when I can subject myself to that. So it just needs to not be sitting there staring at me in the face, going, read me, and like, I just know. The time is not now. It's not now, and I'm not sure if it will ever be, and it hurts me to say that because I know so many love this book so much, but I also know that a lot of people say you don't have to read it, you don't have to subject yourself to that, and I'm kind of sitting in the middle there, and I don't feel like I need to stare at it and have it be a reminder. Again, if I want to read it, I'll just get it from the library or borrow it from someone. We need to move on, and I just need to let it go and be okay with that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Goodbye. And that is it for my book unhaul. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and even 10, yeah! I know that people do these videos when they have like 100 books to unhaul or like 50 books to unhaul, and it's like this big thing. I don't have a big enough collection to do that, but I still wanted to share because I love watching unhauls and hearing why people are moving things along. Know that some of these will be on Pango. I will have that linked below. It's always linked below in the description. So I will put these on there, the ones that are in good enough condition. I will list them on there. They won't be expensive if you want to check it out, if you want to own any of these, and the rest of them I will put in free little libraries or just donate back to the thrift store. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If there's any of these books that you think that I'm going to regret getting rid of, please tell me in the comments. Maybe you can talk me out of it. Maybe. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you are not already. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future